Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Cinema Snobs VR Cast. And I'm your host, Jimmy.
And I'm Jake.
And we're back for our June episode featuring the films of Harmony Korine. We talked about, we had a director's series. We did, the month before, we did the films of Nicholas Winding Refn. And we wanted to keep it going with just, there's so much that, we can do with directors, filmographies, and so little time. And June was kind of busy. We were on vacation, so I didn't really show much on Bigscreen, but we are going to discuss the films that we did show and talk about or promote a bit. And we're going to talk about Spring Breakers first. So we'll get back after this commercial, but Jake, quickly, let's talk about what we did besides being on our own little vacation. Again, I chose this not only because of Harmony Korine, but I was trying to get into a summer vibe. Now, I know the movie's called Spring Breakers, but I was trying to get into, beach and sun and bikinis, and what better than Spring Breakers and Beach Bum. So we'll talk about that again later, but what did you do and watch, or what did you get accomplished in the month of June?
Well, since you did mention vacation, I just want to talk about whenever I watch a film on an airplane, I usually always remember it. Like, I remember I watched a film, what's it called? Perfect Days by Wim Wenders. It's like a Japanese film, but it was a great film. And I remember I watched it on the plane when we were coming back from Italy, or not? No, technically Barcelona. We were coming back from Barcelona, so that was a memorable watch. And then I also watched The Exorcist on the plane, which was fun.
Did you watch anything on our?
I was like, we're definitely gonna crash.
Well, we just got back from Puerto Vallarta for our summer vacation.
No,
did you watch anything? What did you?
I would flow with you.
Oh, that was the only one. You didn't watch anything going out?
No, I was so tired.
Yeah, because I was.
We watched Flow. That was a good film.
Yeah, so we watched. That's one I watched this month, and it was good. It was funny because we were all sitting in the same row with your mom between us, and and she's a big cat fan, and we're like, okay, we got the perfect movie. So we all synced our screens on a Delta flight and tried to watch the movie. It started it. We got it perfectly on sync, and we were 15 minutes in, and she's out.
30 minutes in, she turned it off because she was like, oh, it's so sad because the cat was struggling. I'm like, it's a survival film. The cat's obviously going to live.
Yeah, she couldn't handle the pressure of. We got to the scene where the whale was bringing it down.
The cat was like struggling to stay afloat, and then he got captured by a crane or something.
And I just seen her pop the headphones out. She's like, "That's it. I can't deal with this." And we're like, "Oh God, I thought she was gonna like this." But yeah, it was. I kept telling you, I was like, "It's a French movie. It's a French movie." Like, no, it's no dialogue. I'm like, I know, but it was made by French people. Yeah,
it's from Latvia.
Oh, they weren't French filmmakers?
No, I mean,
okay.
Honestly, I'd be lying if I thought,
I don't know, for some reason
they speak there. It's like an Eastern European country. I've never seen a film from there. There's definitely not a big film industry there at all. But all I knew was that the film had no dialogue anyway, so I was like...
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just, when I would refer to it as that, I think. But Latvia. Okay, so yeah, because I know they were at the Oscar Awards, and they got nominated. And
yeah,
they won, didn't they win?
Best animated picture, yeah.
Yeah, so it won Best Animated Picture. Yeah, I kind of... That's, around Oscar time, of course, we were watching a lot of stuff, and I was like, should I watch this? I'm like, maybe I'll get to it. And it was literally thinking that, too. Like, I'll sit down with Mom and watch it because she loves cats. And so that was the kind of perfect time to watch it, but it didn't work out. I enjoyed it.
I'm petting Nina as I talk right now.
Oh, nice. She's in your lap.
I feel like she's going to bite me during this. But anyways, another good film I watched.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, good.
The other film I watched was Federico Fellini's Nights of Cabiria.
Oh, that's right.
That was a really, really great film. Honestly, made me cry, not gonna lie.
You said that. You texted me that. I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, powerful. It was just like, yeah, really. But honestly, it's not hard to make me cry. Seriously, like, I become a baby during films. I'm like going through menopause with films. Seriously.
Well, it's not hard for Fellini to do that. I definitely know. Well, not Fellini, but I remember, I think Miracle Milan, I was tearing up for sure when I watched that one. Not that that's Fellini, but just Italian films in general. Like that was, and also Cinema Paradiso. Yeah. So it's Italian films could do that to me, especially when they're non-horror or exploitation. Although
Oh, no one's crying during Argento.
I can cry during some our Lenzi.
Maybe during
Me.
Dracula 3D.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, we're speaking in advance here, but we're going to go see Phenomena tomorrow in the big screen at the Beverly Theater here in Las Vegas. So, that's going to be.
I'm definitely excited for that. It's like the only good Argento I haven't seen.
Yeah, that's why I was like, let's do that. Okay, well, another movie I watched, and I know you watch it also, was the new Final Destination.
Oh yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. Getting it back into part 6.
Yeah, no, it was. A lot of people are kind of praising that opening, and yes, it was definitely epic and shot well and great effects, and definitely a good story setup. But just a little long. I kind of felt it kind of overstayed its welcome. Don't you think? Like really most of those opens are kind of like, I mean, I definitely don't like those quick ones. Let's get a kill and get out. But like, I just thought it was like super, super, too much for the beginning. That was the only thing.
Well, don't you think? But if you think of it as like, imagine if that opening was a short film, like that would be a pretty good short film.
Well, yeah, well, it's like I said, it was technically amazing and the kills were cool and everything. But like, I don't know, maybe I just didn't like the whole throwback, but it all came around. Anyway, I don't know why I had to bring up something I didn't like, because I did overall like the movie. And the kills were great. The best was that one in a garbage dumpster, right? Or the garbage truck.
Yeah.
And did you ever see that reel that was going around, like how they made that, the behind the scenes?
No.
Yeah, like you could search it online, but basically that was a real person in there, and they had like this, like those toys where you put your hand on like pins and you can like shape the shape of your hand by pressing on those pins.
Yeah.
It was like that. So a whole slate that looks like a steel plate, but it was like that so actually it's shaped to the face, to the head. When the plate was closing, it was kind of like when your hand hits those pins.
Oh,
it made the shape of her head. So like it's hard to explain, but like, yes. And I was like, what a crazy effect. I mean, of course they had to put in the blood and all that. That was digital. Yeah. But like, as far as there was a real actor, that's why it looks so real. Like it was a real person who like reacted and like screamed and everything, because the plate that was closing, that was like, looked like it was supposed to be like this crushing her head.
That film had actually touched her head. Back at it.
Very good kills. So that was a good one. I didn't really watch too much. And summertime. So that's why we chose to watch Spring Breakers and Beach Bum. But overall, Harmony Korine. So let's celebrate his films. The guy is a complete wacko, but freaking genius. I don't know if genius is the word, but just eccentric and a pure artist that just, whatever's in that brain, whether it's good or bad, is definitely making good movies. So, all right, so we will take a quick break and let's do Spring Breakers first. Yeah, we'll talk about Spring Breakers first, so we'll be right back after this.
Okay, welcome back to the Cinema Snobs VR Cast. First film we'll be talking about is Harmony Korine's Spring Breakers, released in 2012. First of all, why exactly do you prefer Spring Breakers out of the entire Korine filmography?
Well, kind of hard to say, because to be honest, I didn't see everything. He's done a lot of shorts. He's done a lot of odd and crazy experimental films. So I didn't really see everything, but from what I've seen, Spring Breakers definitely, I think
the most like commercially attractive one.
Yeah, which is not what I like. I mean, that's not what it was, but
like, just in general, yeah.
I find it really fascinating that like an artist that has such a eclectic style, and like you would think like he could never make a commercial film, could pull it off. And like definitely showed his hypnotizing style, like in
Yeah.
that happened in all like Gummo and
Yeah.
again I
And
see
like how
too
it's kind of
much.
like abstract and poetic in a way, but
Yeah,
like
like
it's
with
still kind of like commercial
still
and reckless and like entertaining.
still photography and just like music, and like he really is a hypnotizing filmmaker, and like to see him do that with a commercial idea, which is spring break, uh white people, like just Florida, like everything you would think, like how could you make anything hip and cool and artistic with that element right there? Like just
It's
like
not. I think his whole point, honestly, the thing about Harmony Korine is like he always, cause like he makes films about like annoying ass people, and that's just the truth. And like you're like, really, I'm
yeah,
supposed to watch these people for a half hour, or not a half
right.
hour, for an hour and a half? Like this is gonna be terrible. But like at first, it starts to be like just like trying to make you delve into their lifestyle, like it's like kind of like a self-examination kind of thing, and then they realize I need to make a change in my life, and then he has this whole thing of like, okay, um live it up, but you know what you're doing is not healthy for your lifestyle. Like that's really seen in Beach Bum. But even
Hmm.
in Spring Breakers, like Selena Gomez's character is like the only one that's like actually intelligent at all, even though
Yeah,
she's
well,
pretty stupid also.
they used her character, which funny watching it again. I was like, it's so funny that they brought her in there. Not only that they need a name because she was a big pop star at the time, she was going out with
Yeah,
Justin Bieber at the time too,
yeah,
and
I think so.
I know that there was a lot of talk when they made this movie that there was like so many fans and like people like gawking the set as they were shooting because just to see her they had a lot of security. Anyway, the whole thing of using her seemed like they really shoehorned that in, and that's watching it again, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, that was an example of him making something like, okay, I can deal with your commercialism way of doing this, I can make it work. But I'd noticed that how they really didn't even need her character, they just kind of like they threw her away. Do you notice how like they
They did throw
literally
away. I mean,
wrote
the
in
only
how they're
guy
gonna
that
get rid of
matters in
her?
this is James Franco.
Yeah, like how are they gonna get rid of her? Like okay, let's just make her get sick of it and then leave because he really wanted to just deal with the three girls, the three blondes, and
Probably,
get
yeah.
rid of her character. Anyway, but like as far as you brought up, like um having her or having something more commercial. Is that what you were talking about? Like how having something more commercial in the film, or did I bring that up? I'm already lost in
You
the
brought
mouth.
that up, yeah.
Okay. Well, but I just feel that like it kind of it that watching it again, that whole character was not needed, but I understand why they did it. It was probably that whole star power. And James Franco was not really that big a star. I mean, he was this before or after
I think
21
he
Jump
was.
Street?
This is like his prime.
Was it before or after 21 Jump Street? Or not 21 Jump Street. I'm thinking of This Is
This
the
is the
End.
end. It's like
Yeah.
literally,
Was it
this
after?
is before this the end, but still, he was in the films that made him popular is obviously like the Spider-Man trilogy. And then after that, then he did
Yeah.
127 hours. That's what made him
Okay.
big.
So yeah, it was his
So then he was
prime.
already a big actor. I don't know. James Franco made some like weird decisions in his career. Honestly, I thought that guy was pretty good. Like, I don't think he's the best actor. Even in this, he's kind of like he's weird as hell in this. But like,
He was great.
I don't know. He's a good comedy actor. Like, he's funny. He's genuinely funny. He has a lot of energy in his roles. Like, he was a pretty solid actor. Like, it sucks what happened with him because like his whole like comedy group of like Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill and all them, like I obviously have a lot of nostalgia for those guys because like I grew up watching their
Yeah.
films.
Oh, I feel bad when I'm talking about James Franco now. I feel like this whole, he got Me Too'd out of Hollywood, and sad to hear the things that he was doing and the way he is. I wonder if is he doing anything?
But
Is he
his
coming
brother
back?
Dave Franco is like,
Yeah.
nah, he's not making a comeback. But his brother's like big now. His brother's in like that
Yeah.
TV show. I forgot what it's called. It's
I
like a
don't
big TV
watch.
show.
Yeah, I think I heard. I just don't watch shows to know, but I know I have heard that he's doing other
You know
stuff
that
because he's
they
taking a
want
break
they
from
want
film.
Dave Franco to be in a Luigi Mangione biopic. He actually looks like him.
Oh, that is true. That's good.
Yeah.
That's probably like one of those things they threw around that would be good casting. But
No,
no,
I
as
think
far
they're
as
like
like
serious about that. I don't
like
know.
the topic for me on this is really Corinne. Like again, like I'm always more interested in, which is why we're doing these director series things, is like just how he was able to work with commercial aspects of his style, and like his films are just they're like they put you in a trance, like
Yeah,
he's
it's
just
true.
the main thing is his editor, and I had it pulled up here. Let me see if I could find it. But his editor, who worked on Beach Bum and also um, Spring Breakers, let me see what's his name. This guy deserves a lot of credit. Douglas Chris, Crise, and like it seems like he really found this guy really knows Corinne and what he was going for. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
he like it just the music and again I don't know, we were talking about Randall Poster, right? And Randall Poster
Yeah.
he was involved in this, by the way, for bringing in Skrillex and also the composer we were just talking about who worked with Nicholas Winding Refn from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Martinez.
Cliff Martinez. He scored this, and there was a piece in this too because I just watched it last night that like it sounded just like the score from Neon Demon.
From Drive.
Like no, Neon Demon. They literally he recreated it, like maybe reused his score and did it in a different way.
I hear that a lot in Cliff Martinez. Like he uses the same kind of like noises,
instruments and stuff.
I don't know. I'm not like into music like you are, but you would
no,
know,
but I mean, not that I didn't. I loved it, so I just thought it was kind of cool. It's like, oh, that sounds like because they did this before Neon Demon, so not too much earlier actually, but
like 4 years.
Kind of like a leftover track. He probably like kind of had the patch in his keyboards and synthesizers and redid it because I didn't even know going in that it was Cliff Martinez. It was literally when I heard that come in when I was like, who did the score to this? And I looked it up like, oh, no wonder it's Cliff Martinez again.
Well, honestly, speaking of music, I think the opening Spring Breakers captures like the very essence of 2012 with the use of Skrillex better than any film I've ever seen. Seriously.
See, now that too, like that's another point. It's like having Skrillex, I'm a techno guy, for old school Chicago and techno. So like Skrillex to me was always like mainstream, it's the new school of EDM. It's
that guy's like a god
pop.
now. Like people look back at him, they're just like, dude, like I love.
But
this
like
guy.
when he came in to do the score, I'm like,
obsolete.
oh god, now they're going to use Skrillex. But it really worked because it was kind of like this was the generation of Spring Breakers that they were just coming into like EDM and stuff, where like EDM and hip hop were still mixed because I was kind of like, why is it Skrillex music? But then they show Alien, who's like this hip hop guy. But it's like, that's what Florida is.
What Florida guys are.
Yeah. It's like, that's what Florida is. It's just kind of like, they're into everything, like musically. And it just makes sense that it just, dude, everything in this movie was spot on. Like that's what Corinne does. It seems like he is one of those guys who probably tours, when he was touring the country for his films or even just, whatever he was doing, you could tell he like analyzes the city and his brain is just working at all times. Like I can do something.
He has like one of those like ADHD brains. Like I don't even know if he does, but like it just seems like it.
Like he must have went to, I think that was in Indiana where they did Gummo, or I don't know, somewhere.
It was like Ohio.
And it was just like he could tell he probably like drove through and just saw a couple kids and just probably wrote a script in his head by the time he got back to his hotel or something. Like he just really analyzes I'm assuming here, but it seems like he just analyzes the situation in his place where he's at, and he's always right. It's like, wow, he really captured exactly what it's like going there. Yes. Oh yeah. Well, his
like
big inspiration.
He's like a less intelligent Sean Baker.
That's funny. That's a good way of saying it. But his hero, right, is
Werner Herzog.
Werner Herzog. So like, he basically he just modernized what he was doing. like just the way he captures people. Like he was a big fan. We saw that interview of that one movie where he used like like he was inspired by Freaks. He was using like it was all little people, right? It was all, as he put it, midgets. He goes, I loved midgets and I was fascinated. And so it's like and Fellini was known for that too, where like he sees like just faces.
He was obsessed with like the circus atmosphere, Fellini.
Yes. Circus and like and just like the stranger people in the world, and that's why Gummo
like
was.
fat women.
And so he goes into Florida and he's seeing like the weird mixture of like beautiful blondes and beautiful people mixed in with the local, trailer trash, and it's like how those worlds collide,
Yeah.
And he just captured it so perfectly. So anyway, anything else you want to add to it that you want to say about?
Personally, Spring Breakers is a film that, even with me and Harmony Korine personally, like, there's other filmmakers I prefer. I think that his film Gummo is like actually amazing. Like, I really love Gummo, like, because it had like that like French New Wave aspect to it. Like, it was very like abstract,
Mm-hmm.
but like it had like a political meaning to it. Now, whether or not Spring Breakers and The Beach Bum in particular have a political meaning behind it, certainly they do, but not as much as say Gummo would. But Spring Breakers, I think it's a meaningful film, but never do his films ever come like full circle for me. But still, they're entertaining to watch, and I like the
Yeah.
use of music. James Franco's bizarre in this film and obviously fun to watch. And honestly, I think of this film, and there's an unforgettable shot in this film. The dolly shot in the car in the truck.
Dolly shot in the
Do
truck.
you know what I'm talking about?
No. Remind me.
They're in the trunk of the car, and then they do like that robbery, or it
Oh,
stays in the
right.
car.
Yes.
The
It was
camera.
the
Am I
POV from the truck.
saying that wrong or what? Yeah.
No, it's just basically a POV from the truck, and which was cool because it revealed what the robbery and everything that went on. Yeah, that was great.
I think it was shot from inside of it.
But just man, like to talk about the cinematography too. Benoit Dabi, the Gaspar Noé's cinematographer,
Oh, really?
work with him on this and Beach Bum. So yeah, that Gaspar Noé's cinematographer is who shot these, and like the use of neon color, like neon.
Yeah, 100%.
Man, like I love that. The imagery is just genius of 3 girls in bikinis with pink ski masks, not just ski
That's
masks,
obviously
but pink
like
ski
what
masks.
was in his head when he wanted to write this
Yes.
film. That was
I thought I heard him say that somewhere. There was a video where he just said, I think he wrote the whole movie based off that image. Like,
probably.
Yeah, he's a scrapbooker too. Like when he works with his color palettes and his clothing, his costume people, it's like he has like scrapbooks of all kinds of different just magazines. He's like another Kubrick who like just collected all kinds of images to kind of put together the whole story. And that's obsessive. Like I remember that feeling of being obsessive, on my film of like, and that's why it's like, that's the only way to make a movie is for me to really get to that level, or else it just becomes
or else
work.
You're forcing yourself.
Or else it's just work, like, but when you're doing it because you're just passionate and you're doing things like that, like I just admire that and so much and envy that so much of directors that they get to that level where they can't help but to work that deep into their idea where they do everything to get it out of their head and onto screen. So he succeeds. So, okay, for me watching it again, we'll talk more about some more stuff about him, of course, when we get to Beach Bum. But for me, I'm sticking with this. I think I originally gave it 4 stars, and I'm staying with that.
I'm going to stay with 3.5.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, you have to say it now because maybe Beach Bum is the one, but is is there, out of all the Korine you have seen, you have a higher rating?
Yeah, Gummo 4.
So Gummo, yeah. Well, quickly about Gummo.
Will probably remain my favorite forever.
Okay, quickly about Gummo. I understand that, but like, yeah, that was just, like I said, that was kind of like my introduction to him, and I just think he perfected it with this. But what he did in Gummo was the kind of origins of everything. And plus, you never seen Kids, and I know he didn't direct Kids, but I'm telling you, and I told you this before, Kids we need to get, and I can't wait for that Blu-ray to come out. It's still not officially out, but Kids is the unofficial Korine film. Like you would think he directed it, because the director of that film, which I can't remember the name now, but he wrote it, and the director, it seemed like he kind of like said,
it's like Poltergeist and Steven Spielberg. Like everyone knows he directed it.
Well, no, it's not that, because he was a really young kid. I think he was like 20 when he wrote Kids. Maybe even 19.
Well, you mean styles like super implemented in that film?
The directing. So I'm saying the directing of Kids, it's kind of like, again, here's me assuming, and I love this, it's kind of like saying like, all right, I'll write this movie, you direct it, but this is the way I would have directed it. And then he went and ahead and did everything after that the way he would have directed kids. So that's kind of like how I see it. Like, he knew that movie should have been directed a certain way, and he went ahead and did it with everything else afterwards. Because kids really is that whole, just like, it's more in a day in a life. It's like all throughout one day, but it is like fragmented images and just like, it's more story structured, but it's still like weird people, just
It's like a Dazed and Confused.
no, it's not. That's not funny at all. It's actually pretty tragic. But
I mean,
anyway,
the
we'll get to
format
Kids.
of
Kids
the
is a
film.
great movie. I really want to rewatch it again, and like I said, I'm just waiting for that release, and I should do more research to find out if it's ever coming out. If it's wrapped up in licensing stuff, then I'll wait forever. I might as well just get it on freaking DVD and watch it again. But it's hard to find. It's not even, you can't even, I don't even know if you can rent it. I don't know, for some reason it's off the market, but the DVDs are out there though. Anyway, okay, so long segment, but we are going to take a break, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about The Beach Bum, and that is starring our man Matthew McConaughey. So we'll be right back. Back to the Cinema Snobs VR Cast, and let's talk about Beach Bum. Beach Bum, again, we were talking about Korine. It's summertime. Let's talk about sun. Let's talk about sand. We were getting in, just about to get on that plane to go to Puerto Vallarta. I'm like, we got to get another summertime movie in. And I remember watching Beach Bum for the first time when it did come out in 2019, right before another vacation. So I know you haven't seen this one yet. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't know, just for me, it just gets me in that mood. And I always think like, all right, on this vacation, I'm going to get so crazy and just let it all go and party and drink and just be like Moondog. And, of course, at this age, I don't do it as much.
I was like Moondog.
You sure did. We should have talked about that. But yes, Matthew McConaughey and Snoop Dogg. Who's the other dude? Who's Zac Efron?
And
it was a great ride. What did you think? So your first time seeing it, my second. What are your thoughts?
I mean, personally, I don't think it's as strong as Spring Breakers, and I think I'd even say it's less meaningful than Spring Breakers. But honestly, I just think that Harmony Korine, this is just like he's just like fooling around with this one.
Yeah,
it's like this film is just like, it's a comedy, like it's really silly. There's literally a shark attack in this film. Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that Snoop Dogg's in it, it's just like a wild cast. And then Matthew McConaughey, like we literally talked about this, like the dude was 100% on drugs during this film.
Yeah.
And like, but he gave a really great performance, and I think that he's like he's the highlight of the film, above all else, obviously. And it still has that like poetic format that Harmony Korine always plays around with. And like I said, even though it's less meaningful, I think it's an entertaining film, and it's also got a good soundtrack too.
Yeah, to me, I think one of the first things, and we don't talk about the movies when we're watching. We try not to, even though sometimes we get in some good conversations during movies, but we're like, let's hold off until the show. But one of the first things I said was, it seemed like this was Harmony Korine's life, like his stage
yeah.
I made some money in this business. I made some coin in this business, and now I can just kind of enjoy it. But like, how do I get back to it? Because it's the story is really about an artist who had, because Matthew McConaughey's a writer, he made some money and get some fame, but then he just kind of like took that money and just partied and just kind of
That
didn't
whole like
create anymore.
poet thing was kind of silly.
But it makes sense. That's what I'm saying. Like the story, because like the story was his wife. Spoiler alert, but it was early in the movie. But his wife passed away, and she was
Mhm.
going to leave in the will all this money. She's a millionaire. She's way richer than him, and she was leaving all the money to him, but he couldn't get that money until he wrote another book. So I feel I can't help but to connect that like Harmony Korine was probably like, how do I create again? Because he's just sitting in lavish. I'm sure he is living in a mansion and doing well because he made some good money on his films, and at least
Maybe, I don't know.
comfortably. He was living comfortably, and I know that from watching some stuff that he is now, especially. But anyway, and just like how could I create again, or do I even want to create again? He's looking for the inspiration. We were talking about how he gets so inspired. This one, I don't think he had the inspiration as much anymore. So he kind of wrote a story. It seems like that was based on a character that had to find inspiration. So what he
Yeah.
got forced into finding inspiration because he would have never gained this money if he didn't get off his ass and do it again. And then I won't give
Yeah.
away how it ended, but remember how it all ended, right? It's like he basically still
Yeah.
didn't give a shit. He just pretty
Yeah.
much like, you don't care about money.
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. I think it lost track of like the one thing that kind of gave this film heart. But needless to say, it was still entertaining the entire time. But then I was like, okay, the whole middle run was about like he needs to find ambition, but then
mhm.
he just continues to be a bum. Like,
Yeah, I
all
kind of
right, I
wish
guess. And
it ended better. I kind of wish it ended on a more like he found himself again and he's going to be successful again. But it's like
yeah,
he was always just a bum. He just happened
yeah,
to,
that's why it does have
you
some
know,
meaning to it, because like he's
yeah.
just gonna live his life.
Yeah, it's not like he's most characters, and that's number one in the script, right? Is a character needs to change and evolve and all that. He didn't, he was just him. But it was kind of like his wife was trying to force him to be something else. I don't know. I know what you're saying. Like it didn't have to really connect. It didn't definitely connect as much. I think Harmony Korine tried to make more of a story, a linear story out of this. It wasn't as dreamlike and hypnotic. Even though, remember I was saying how it started getting that way. His character, I just said I feel his character was definitely um, him, and he was trying to kind of like tell a linear story. At the same time, you could see him writing a little bit his own life and in his own manic way. But this really is a hypnotic film. It just wasn't definitely as much as Spring Breakers. I didn't like the first half, but it started kind of becoming more Korine as it went.
Yeah, you
You
could
know,
really like
yeah,
fall deep into his films.
yeah. Um, who would you say was a standout performance? I mean, do you think McConaughey was
I mean,
really great? Or?
obviously McConaughey, but like, uh, I mean, Snoop Dogg's a Snoop Dogg. Honestly, I don't even like his music,
He played
but
this. He
like,
played
he's
himself.
he's he's funny though. Like,
He was
he
good.
was good in this.
Yeah,
Zac Efron was better. Um,
a little underused though.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because, yeah, he was underused, definitely. Maybe it's just because I don't know. I like never really cared about Zac Efron like when he was on like Disney and stuff. I never cared. But like um when he did Iron Claw, I
Hmm.
like I started to respect him.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked him in this, but Martin Lawrence is funny.
Oh, let me
Yeah.
let me just say something about Zac Efron now. It's funny you say that because um, I remember feeling the same thing. Iron Claw made me like, man, he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
He gets. I love how he just really got into his character, and he obviously beefed up and all these things. But
Yeah.
so that's why when I watch this again, I was like looking forward to Zac Efron showing me why he's such a good actor, and that's why I used the term just now, literally, of him being underused because
Yeah,
I feel they
definitely.
could have did so much more with that character, where like he would have learned more from him,
Uh-huh.
of what not to do. Because all it really
Yeah, yeah.
showed when he went to rehab is
Yeah, he's
he found
stupid,
another
man.
guy just like him, and it took him
Mhm.
right out of took him right out of it. Where it could have been uh, a really good point in the script where he maybe learned from this guy to not be that again. I don't know. I'm writing the script as we go, like rewriting it,
It's more like he
but you know what I
encouraged
mean?
him to just be himself, which was kind of the wrong thing to
Yeah,
get out of it. But
right.
in this film's own perception and point of view, it was the best. It was a good thing to leave the rehab and just continue to be a bum.
And see, that's another thing
and
too.
ride a freaking tricycle naked or a unicycle naked
But that's
or
another thing too
whatever.
about the connection with Corinne. Like I know that he has had drug issues, and um, I'm not sure if he went to rehab or whatever. But like, and maybe this is what he would think it would have been if he did, or if he did go to rehab. This is kind of like maybe how he felt. I wish I could just leave this fucking place. Like I should
Hmm.
just leave this place, you know. So I'm telling you, I don't know enough about. Like, it's not like he wrote a book about his memoirs about this film or yet, or I don't know if he did, but I guarantee you, there's a lot of what was going on in his real life, and I say it all the time, but I find that very interesting with
Yeah.
filmmakers when they bring that in. Um, Anything else? How about the way it was shot? Music? Anything else?
Yeah, like I said, the soundtrack was really good. Um,
Yeah, I use a lot of good.
I mean, like a random
Definitely hit the
poster you
tone
said.
of
I don't even know
beachy.
if this is a random poster film, but
I don't think it
still, you
was.
made a good point.
Yeah.
I don't think it was either, but you made a
Yeah.
good point saying like, he's one of the best, what is it, music supervisors,
Hmm. Yeah.
most well known in Hollywood. Like, no, that was cool. Yeah, the soundtrack, obviously. I mean, all his films are well shot. Nothing particularly like stood out. I don't know. I want to praise that shark attack because not because it
Yeah.
looked good, but because it shocked me. I was like, honestly, like
I
these
remember you
like
did say that.
auteur directors need to throw in shark attacks more because like it's just like exhilarating to watch.
Yeah.
Like
No.
I'd like imagine a Martin Scorsese shark attack. I would love to see that.
No. That's great. That's great. You said it because, and you did mention that early on about how um you didn't
Yeah, I
expect
wasn't
that,
expecting a shark attack in this
and
film.
that, or no, you said he uh, was playing around. So I think he was just having fun with this. Like, if I'm gonna
Of
write a
course,
goddamn
yeah,
shark attack into my movie, I'm gonna write a goddamn shark attack into my movie. And of course, being
yeah.
with A24, they let him do it. So
Was
uh,
this A24?
I believe so, or was it
I don't
Wild?
think this
Maybe it was
was.
Not Wild Bunch. It was Neon, maybe.
I
But
haven't seen it down there.
it was definitely uh, a company that gave respect to their filmmaker, you know, and
Yeah,
let him do what he wants without too much studio interference, whoever it was, because that's what I like, is when you can tell there was no interference on this, and you'll never get
yeah. There was zero.
anything like this if you'd had that too much, you know. Like I sometimes sometimes the studio does make some good notes and they can help a film, but you just need to know which guys need help and which guys don't. Like, we watched that show, The Studio, right? Like, certain directors don't need to be told what to do. They're just fine on their own. And that's why you use them in the first place, you know?
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys, just let him go. Like, he's got to be a pain in the ass to work with. He must be. You know, like his producer's got to be like, oh, let Harmony do that and throw him in a corner and, you know, give him, if he says he wants a dog food to eat, give him the damn dog food if it's going to help him get the
Dog
movie done. You
food.
know, think whatever. I don't know. Just like, did you hear one of his craziest stories about his real life when he was on David Letterman? You know David Letterman,
What, when
right?
he got in some altercation? Yeah, like some altercation with someone. Like it was
Well,
bad. I remember like hearing it was bad.
okay. Well, I think I showed you some clips. Remember, I was telling you about how you can be the wackiest person.
Yeah,
If
I
you're a creator,
remember.
you can make movies. So he was on David Letterman's show, which is a talk show. That's what I asked you if you knew who
Hmm.
that was, because this is definitely out of your
Yeah,
era.
no, I do.
So he was a host. This is like the second time he came on, because he already was like super weird the first time he came on, and obviously high. And he admits it now that he was totally high, you know, when he recorded these shows. So he was on the same show as Meryl Streep, the actress Meryl
Yeah.
Streep, and I guess she was on first. He was in the green room. Why she was, you know, he was about to go on next. And David Letterman went up to the green room or something to check on her, or went up there, and he was going through Meryl Streep's purse, and it was he was in the middle of robbing her, and Letterman said, "What are you doing? Get the hell out of here!" And he kicked him out. So he never came on the show. It was supposed to be maybe his third appearance, you know, but he never
Yeah,
came.
because I remember he's on twice.
He never went on that time because he got kicked off. He literally, where's our guest? We kicked him off. He was going through Meryl Streep's purse. It's because he was probably stealing money for drugs or something. But that's how. I mean, this is probably like, if it was his third appearance, it was probably because he was promoting. I don't know what movie would it have been, because I know he was on
Honestly, I have no
for
idea. I
Gummo.
don't.
He was on for Gummo, so it must have been after whatever was between Gummo and Spring Breakers, obviously. But yeah, just a complete lunatic, but what a crazy mind. All right, well, that's it on Beach Bum. Stars, what do you think?
I'd say 3.5. A less prominent 3.5 compared to Spring Breakers, but I don't know. I don't want to give either one 4 because if Gummo's a 4, then this is not a 4.
No, I'm gonna say 3.5. So I thought you would say 3, but so in other
I mean,
words,
I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining.
So you actually like Spring Breakers more though than Beach Bum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better.
It's
they're
better.
Like almost equally as good.
Really? Okay. Well, I think I think if you're a Harmony Korine fan and you give it a shot, definitely you got to watch it all the way through. I can understand why people would not finish it.
And Spring Breakers is the much more essential one.
Yeah. But this was fun. It was fun. So definitely, if anyone hasn't seen it, check it out and enjoy some Korine. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about what we're going to do for next month's episode. And also might have a special guest to discuss this time. All right. All right, welcome back to Cinema Snobs VR Cast, and as you can see, we have another guest here, which we are going to tease our next month's episode. And let me introduce to you Ghost Chaser Nick. Nick, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll get into that a lot more on when the show when you come back, but give us a quick introduction.
Hey there, my name's Ghost Chaser Nick, or Nick Woods. I'm a filmmaker based out of Las Vegas, and I am the guy that started Sin City Horror Club, and I host their events. It's a local horror enthusiast group in Las Vegas as well. We do a VHS night, and that's pretty much it. Love horror movies, love genre films, love older stuff, Hitchcock, spaghetti westerns. I'm all over the place. I love all of it.
Nice. Good. Well, the whole concept here is we're going to tease you a little bit about what we're doing next month, right? So episode 12 is what we're recording now, which is June. So what we're doing is we're going to talk about what we're going to do for July, episode 13. And what we do is we're going to just kind of hit you, Nick, with a surprise trailer of the 2 trailers of what we're going to watch for next month. We're going to screen on Bigscreen on our Saturday nights, and we're also going to talk about them for our episode 12. So
I'm ready.
First thing is, you always tell me, Jimmy, every time you show me movies, it always seems to be like Italian movies.
Yeah, you love Italian stuff. It seems to be like it seems like maybe that's just what you're geeking on right now, but I've only known you for so long, so.
No, but the thing is, like, I'm kind of all over the board too, and like especially the show. Jake. The concept of the show is Jake is way more. Even for being an 18-year-old and he's younger than obviously me. He's my son, but I mean, he is seeing a lot more stuff, believe it or not, because the kid has time on his hands. Maybe not so much lately, but
No.
He's watched, like, Jake, tell him how much movies you watched like last year. Like, remember your highest point?
That was a bad year. That was like 400 something.
400 movies? That was a bad year? Like, not a lot?
My best year was 711. Oh, that was
in 1 year?
Yeah.
Jesus.
See what happens when you have a lot of time and you don't have any job?
Yeah,
now he's got
when they have no job and shit like that, they always got time on their hands. You're an adult, it's hard to even get to the movie theater.
So now he's got a job, he's got a girlfriend, he's, again, getting into college soon. So anyway, we don't need to elaborate too much on that. But basically, Jake has seen a lot, so he is showing me stuff and asking me if I ever seen things. And so I'm like, you know what? Cool. You're watching a lot. You're watching way too much highbrow cinema. Like, I need to trash you up a little bit, you know? So like, I usually give him something that's, I give him something a little more, you know, I work for Severin. So it's like, here's something from the Severin catalog. Here's some slimy Italian B grade movie. And he'll like, and then we'll watch like a freaking Truffaut movie or like Fellini or something. So it's a pretty good mix.
Oh, you're like a French New Wave guy and stuff like that. You like that type of stuff?
I mean, yeah, but like I equally like sometimes watching like Sergio Martino, so you know, it's pretty.
Okay.
Which is Jolly stuff.
Mixed.
So he sees everything.
He brings the snob to the Cinema Snobs VR situation as well.
There you go.
Oh my god,
got it.
So
got it.
Anyway,
yeah.
So we are you know, of course, the movies we're going to show. We like to show things that we haven't seen yet, but now that we're bringing guests, we're starting to, you know, do a little bit more. We're like hijacking our guest about like, now you need to watch this. So anyway, again, so to be different from the Italian stuff, that would be weird. So hell no, I'm going to give you an Italian film. So this is the film that I've been telling you about forever, and I can't believe you haven't seen it. So here you go.
Oh goodness.
We are about to watch, my friend, we are about to watch Suspiria. Here's the trailer for Suspiria. Are you familiar with this original 77 trailer?
No.
Well, of course you know Suspiria. We've talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, you said you never seen it. I'm like, you never seen Suspiria? Dude.
No, I've seen Suspiria.
I thought you said you never saw Suspiria.
No, I've only seen, I hadn't seen it until I saw it in the theater with Claudia Simonetti.
Okay, have you seen
I was saying, that's okay. I love Suspiria, but I had never seen it. And then Claudia Simonetti came through and did the live performance. And I was like, this is the way to fucking see it.
Oh, okay.
So I saw it with him playing live.
All right. Yeah,
but it's not like I've seen it. Not like I've watched it a bunch, though.
Jake's laughing because this is like a big bummer. Like, I thought he'd never seen it. Okay, maybe we're confused.
Suspiria is great, man. I love it. And the new one was fantastic, too.
Well, that's nice of you to say.
Did I just ruin it? You're going to show me the trailer for the new one as well?
We're watching both.
So good.
All right.
So good.
This is the bummer of a show right here already.
Maybe I always re-record it. Maybe
I could just give him 2 more trailers.
No,
I thought you said that you never saw Suspiria.
I told you. It was when we went to the Fabio Frizzi thing. I said I had never seen Suspiria, and then Goblin came through town, and I was like, I gotta see it this way.
Ah.
And that was so I probably only watched it one more time since then.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and then shortly after that, I watched the new one.
Oh, so then I just assumed you probably never saw the remake, and that's why we were going to show the remake.
No, I liked the remake. It's a little all over the place, but I liked it.
Yeah.
We can do them. I'm not going to bitch. I think they're great movies.
Okay.
It's not like these aren't movies that I've like seen so many times. Like I can't quote either of them if that's what you're worried about. It's not like that for me.
No, it's not even about that. It's like, again, it's fine because we do talk about movies like the Harmony Korine films. We both saw them. So, well, Jake's never saw.
Beachside, I thought Tilda Swinton as an old man was really great.
She plays like 3 characters, right?
Yeah. My favorite stuff is the Tom York music at the end. We're already fucking spoiling it.
There's no need to spoil. No, there's no need to spoil. It's okay, actually, because, again, it's fine, because this is a retrospective show as well as, you know, just seeing something, like I said, hitting up ourselves with something we never saw before. And it's fine.
Love the second that I was like, I love the remake, too. Jake just starts busting up laughing. I was like,
oh, shit. Well, happy that you're saying that, because
yeah. The funny thing is, we usually go on. You know, we could just go on your letterbox and look it up. But then you told me that you don't really log everything in there. I'm like, shit. They're not in there. A lot of times I post a lot of. I don't. Not everything I watch is on Letterboxd anyway. But a lot of times I post stuff on Facebook. I have a folder that I post things on for films on there because I want to say more about it, and I want
and I want to show frames from the movie a lot of the time, you know, or the posters. Like I want to show those things when I'm talking about it. So sometimes I'll post on Facebook.
No, it's perfect. I mean, I want to see these movies. I can always watch Suspiria. It's one of my favorites
They're
of all
both
time.
great, man.
And I haven't
They're both
seen the
great.
remake in a while. So, and I'd love, but mainly, you know, the whole concept of what we're doing here is, you know, just show them to the big screen crowd. So I think these will play
they're
really
still
well.
they're still pretty fresh for me, if that's what you're worried about. I've seen the original twice, and the new one I've seen once.
Well, the cool
So-
thing too is when you do watch movies again, it's kind of something more grows on you, right? Like I never noticed this, or like this still plays well, or this doesn't play well, things like that. So no, this
I
one
dig it.
was totally tripped out, and of course a lot of people were really you know, kind of like, you know, they didn't know what to expect from this film, and of course with Luca Guadagnini directing it, I was like, okay, this guy is more of an auteur. He's more of a stylist. He's not gonna like just go for the gore and, you know, just do what everyone else would do with a horror remake.
Even though it was a Prime film, even though it was an Amazon Prime film, I feel like they tried to go like this art house horror route, you know, which is like what's popular right now with Neon and A24. You know, so they still tried to, even though it wasn't made by either of those companies, they tried to give it that flavor, I thought. And I appreciated that. I thought that was cool.
That's just Luca.
Yeah.
So what?
That's just, I think the director, like, obviously, and then he also made it, like, political. Like, obviously, it was, like, his way of, like, remaking a film that he really loved, but then, like, he added, like, his own flavor to it. And then, like, if you've seen, like, Call Me By Your Name, which is, like, probably his best film, it just has that same, like, tone. Like, it's, like, subtle, except this one kind of had to go by, like, a different blueprint, which obviously made it have to be kind of, I don't know, like, A24-esque. Even though, literally, like, if you think about it, Dario Argento, the way he made the first Suspiria, is, like, it's not really an intelligent film. I don't think he doesn't make intelligent films. He just makes like style over substance stuff.
He's a visual style guy.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
a visual style guy.
Like it's a masterpiece, but not because of the storytelling, technically.
Yeah. Well, that's what's going to be cool, guys. We're going to get into this. We'll talk about them for next month's show. So everybody out there, get ready for our next episode, which will be for July. And we will have Nick back, and we will discuss. So find us on...
talk about some witches, man. We're going to talk about some spooky witches.
Talk about the mysterious.
That's right.
We'll talk about the mysterious. Right on. Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up, and we will see you next month. So take care. See you then.
Sounds great.